Hey everybody, we're back in the shop today, but only for a minute because today we're turning ourselves into the police. Okay everybody, we have the Chrysler, we're sitting in it. We're gonna go try and drive home real quick and not run out of gas. See how well that works. So today what we're doing is we're going into the State Patrol and we're gonna go get this thing's VIN inspected, and then we'll go and do our emissions testing. If you want to know all the specific parts we're gonna take, the specific steps, check our last video. There's a bunch of creaking up on the front left here. I wonder if that's just the fender liner. So we're gonna not take the freeway right now. We'll stick to the side roads here. Try and keep our speeds and things that can go wrong to a minimum. So there is a big crunching noise in the front end. We're gonna get this home and get the stuff out of the back here and see if we can't figure out what's going on. Actually, let's pull over real quick here and see if we can't see what we're hitting on the front before we go any farther. Okay, so what I think we're getting right now is a I think we're getting the front fender liner is not fully attached right now. It's just kind of hanging there. And I think every time the front end bounces a little bit, we're getting a little bit of contact between the wheel and the fender liner. So it's making like a crashing sound, which is not awesome. And our airbag light is back, so let's scan this thing right now and see what we got. So far everything seems to drive pretty well. There's a little bit of inconsistency in the throttle surging. Could be, I don't think it's anything serious right now. It's certainly not uncontrollable. And the car does drive pretty well, although I'm really annoyed with the airbag light right now, so we'll see what the light actually says. Weird. Thing just died. This is not ideal. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go look at some of this stuff, but we may end up, since this is basically our first shakedown drive of this thing, we may end up missing our inspection today, which is really annoying and makes people unhappy. But not much I can do about that, to be honest. So this is my first time with the shakedown run in this car, and we're finding a couple issues. The EGR is really annoying. So I'll have to figure out what that circuit actually is. And then we'll have to figure out this front bumper issue, and then also we'll have to figure out our airbag light here. So I may be able to get this thing prepped up for tomorrow. I still have this passed for tomorrow, so I can possibly get that done. But I'm not holding my breath at this point. So we'll see what happens when we get there. Okay guys, it's the next day, and I just tried something with this car that hopefully didn't have to replace the EGR sensor. So there's the EGR fuse in here. I think in this car it's fuse 11. I pulled that, left it out. Forums say that sometimes that'll just fix it. And the code did go away for a bit. And I went out and drove it around, which is why it's raining, because it's the next day and it's super raining right now. Didn't fix it. Code came back, which is unfortunate. Code went away, but it came back. So that says there's probably something wrong with our EGR valve. I guess there could be some wiring issues. But at this point, we haven't seen any wiring issues on this car, so the EGR valve is probably where it's at in terms of stuff that's going wrong. So if you don't know what an EGR valve is, it's an exhaust gas recirculation valve. It's basically an emissions thing. It takes exhaust gases that have some atomized unspent fuel in them and recirculates it back through your intake. Helps you with emissions. Depending on how it's done, it can make it more efficient at certain operating conditions. In order to pass the emissions test, you definitely have to have this system working. So the EGR valve is bolted to the front of the motor on the 5.7 Hemi in this case, and I think most of them are pretty much the same spot on pretty much all 5.7 Hemis. So for your Chargers, your 300Cs, your Dodge Rams, I think they all pretty much have this thing in the same spot. So they're just bolted to the front of the motor. In fact, that connection that you see in the picture is the connection we were practicing on for the oil pressure sensor that we spent so much time and effort to replace. But what's down there looks a lot like this. So this is the replacement EGR valve we have. This is your sensor connection up here, or your electrical connections for the solenoid in here. This connects to the pipe that's running up and around, and then this connection right here goes into your engine block, and that's where you get dispensing your exhaust gases, and all the recirc parts are there. Should be a pretty easy replacement. I have a bunch of spare gaskets and fasteners and all sorts of stuff. So hopefully we just don't strip something in the block and everything goes fine. Somehow I got my nose dirty, but I don't feel like I was working that hard. Anyway, we got the old EGR valve out, and we'll show you what we're looking at here. It actually looks in pretty decent condition. So hopefully we're right, and it's just the internal electronics that are bad. We'll see. Here we go. So here we got the old one and the new one. These are exhaust gas recirculation valves. So kind of how they work is this bolts into the block, and you can kind of see the hole where it bolts in right here. Let's see if we can't get that to focus. There you go, kind of right in that area. So that bolts into the block, and it takes exhaust gases from the engine and sends them out this port back to this little pipe, and this goes all the way back up into your intake. So a lot of people block this off. I'm not really looking at doing that right now, and I have to have this running in order to pass emissions tests. So here's the new one. You can kind of see it. The hole looks smaller, but that's just because of the carbon buildup. So we're going to toss this new one in here. Apparently what you're supposed to do in order for the computer to learn what this one is specifically looking for in terms of voltage, or I don't know, there's something like that in the instructions. You're supposed to pull the negative battery terminal for 2 minutes and then go run it. So we'll go do that. So we'll catch you after that. All right, everybody. It's raining outside and terrible, but this is the Northwest, so, and it's not past the 4th of July yet, so at this point, it still could rain any day. I took this thing out driving again, like I did the last time I recreated this code, and it's not coming back, so hopefully we fixed it. It'd be nice if we have fixed it. The times it's come on, it's been relatively quick. Once you start doing partial throttle movement of the car and drive, it throws the code pretty quickly. It threw the code in 3 minutes when I was driving it around the neighborhood the last time, and I recopied that drive this time, and I didn't manage to get it there. So I think that means we fixed it. Given that it's raining, hopefully our clock spring is in. That'll be the next video. I'll go replace the clock spring, and that will stop our airbag light. But it's raining, so hopefully it got delivered, but not delivered outside so that it's all wet, and that would make it awkward. But we'll go replace the clock spring next, which is what'll stop us from passing the State Patrol inspection. Their safety gear stuff has to be working properly, so right now our airbag isn't. And then we'll probably pull and look at this front left side over here. We're getting some banging noises. I was trying to GoPro it when I was driving around here to see if I could see what sort of actions were bringing the banging noises, and see if something is horrific that we just somehow missed the first time around. Of course, it could just be a bunch of the loose stuff that's sitting under this bumper, because I didn't rehook any of the front washers or anything like that. So maybe some of the loose stuff that's sitting under the bumper is just banging all around as we're hitting things. So we'll see what it looks like underneath, and then it's inspection time again, and maybe this time we'll make it. It'll be like the 5th time I've scheduled an inspection. I'm only a little frustrated about this, but I want to get this build going for you guys so we can do all the exciting stuff that I know you all are paying attention and watching. So thanks for sticking with us while we fiddle with stuff that we've already fixed again. My name's Andrew, and this has been another Project Ute 300C video here on Make It and Break It. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit like down below. If you dislike it, go ahead and dislike it and tell me what you want to do better. If you like what we're doing in this channel, hit subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon thing so that you get notified when we put out new videos. We put out weekly videos on motorsports. This one will start taking center stage here as we try and get the Ute part of this thing going. And then we'll come back to our RX-8 Doritos Locos build here, and maybe our first 2-wheel build for you guys. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Andrew, and this is Make It and Break It, where we ask a lot of questions about our projects, but the only one we really want to answer is, why not build it? Catch you guys later. On the plus side, I got some new CDs.